Hey.
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 Happy
Yeah. Shake it.
Friday.
Shake it. 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 Shake it.
Hello.
Happy
Hello.
Friday.
Who is this right here?
Bumba
Who's that?
Clyde. Boop, 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 boop,
Yeah, but
boop.
They
whose
took it
song
back.
was that?
That was
Who is
Shabba
that?
Ranks
Shaggy.
right there.
It
Shabba
wasn't.
Oh
Ranks.
yeah,
Oh,
Chopper Rank.
Shabba.
Yeah,
It
They
was
took
yeah.
it back to
Shabba.
they would have a classic dance song.
Chopper.
Yeah,
Trying to
Shabba.
she's trying to act like she don't know what
Right.
song
So
that
I
was.
I
didn't.
like
I
that,
was.
that,
I didn't
right?
know who the. I was
You
thinking
guys,
Shabba Ranks and then
you used to
somebody
be
else.
doing that. You used to be doing that dance on the park all the time.
Oh.
Definitely not.
That.
Okay, I was doing it at South to the Wood. Okay, not at the park.
Mr. Lover
Okay,
Man.
South
Mr.
to the park.
Chopper.
Shabba.
Never.
Mokita,
Shabba.
thanks for the wet look today. We've been really enjoying
No.
Oh
the
boy.
Listen,
smoke.
she out here living her best life, Roy. You
I'm
know,
telling you.
whatever his name is, whether
Yeah.
it's Rico, Suave,
Yes, Suave.
Suave
Rico
Mente, whatever.
Suave.
You
Rico
know how she did
Suave
that? She
Vave.
said,
Okay.
because
You know what
Get
I'm
your
saying?
life.
Yes, my
Glam
whole
up.
life.
That's what we
we ain't
supposed to
mad at you,
do. Glam
Mokita.
up.
Hey, Mokiaka, just remember Justice is still in the same city. She can still pop up on you. Just remember that.
Uh-oh.
There
Could
you
if the alarm code was the same, she could.
Boop.
go.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
All
Yeah,
right. All
Rude.
right.
Perspective.
That's
not to
right.
That's
mention
right.
Great
Okita dropping
perspective,
clues. We got to
Mokita.
figure out what Caribbean
Lee,
countries grow the best oranges.
Lee.
Okay,
All right.
Lord
Right.
Justice.
that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, Makita. Give her a
You
hint. Then a
know
little
what?
shout out
Y'all crazy.
to the Wu Tang. You're like, you
I
see me, man? I
love
got your
it.
little orange that you gave me. Hello.
I got what you mailed me. I
That's
Right,
it.
love it.
right, right.
I love it. I love it. We had fun 2 days ago. The grand opening of Larcinia J.
Nice.
Bullard Plaza.
You know.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to the
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
MC, to the woman who moved the crowd, Jessica Mockett out here. You
Well,
know.
hey, I had to represent for the lady who did it all and then some, left a legacy for all us to walk in and bust the dough down for us to have a room to get into. Thank you.
Listen,
Nice.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes, Senator
that
Bullard.
lady. Okay.
Yes, yes. So
Was
many
the bomb.
accolades. So many great people were there to show her due respect, you know? That's what I'm talking about. B.
That's
Scott,
right.
when
Hey,
you coming
Brandy.
back on the show?
The
When are
culture
you
said
coming
that.
back?
B.
Yeah.
Scott did not say that. The
Yeah, no,
culture
that's
said it.
Brandy. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy. Yeah, we have to go ahead and put that out there. Hey,
Hey,
Benita.
Bonita.
We
I'm
have to
glad
go
to
ahead
see
and
a
put it out
picture this
there.
time.
I know, right? She and her sister, they have those illuminations.
The
We're
Yeah.
gonna
folks will be on the
illuminate.
show.
Huh?
Virginia
The
folks in the
sister need to be on
building.
the show. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I want to.
Virginia.
I heard some tears about this story, but I think that it is just so wonderful. Congratulations goes out
Oh
to
Ooh,
yes,
Tabitha
Yeah.
J.
Auntie
yes,
Brown.
Tab out
yes.
here killing the game.
Oh man,
Yes,
when I tell you
yes.
I had happy tears, I couldn't
me
stop.
too, Mokita. I was so like,
Yeah,
oh man, she's so genuine.
she
Cause
really
see,
is.
it was like it wasn't rehearsed. She did it like right on the spot,
Yep.
videotaping herself, and I was like, oh man, she
I
looks
gotta
like
call my
her little nose was
Her
all red
diddy.
because she was trying not to
I
cry. I
call
was like,
her
I gotta
diddy.
call my daddy,
daddy.
Yes,
my
yes,
daddy.
Yeah.
yes. So if you don't know what happened, Tabitha Brown is everything. Um, she
Everything,
she put
everything.
15 years of her life on hold for her
Husband.
husband.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
husband.
No, opposite way. He put 15 years of his life
Yeah.
on hold for her to pursue her acting career, and her agent told her, "Don't do anything on social media. You know, don't try to build a brand or anything like
Right.
that's not what you want to do." She had some health scares,
Mm-hmm.
reverted to being vegan, began to tell her journey, her story on social
Mm.
media,
Mm.
and earlier this year, she was ridiculed by a TV show host for now allowing her husband to retire early because
Right.
she ultimately had built a brand that was able to sustain their life. And she felt like he
Mm-hmm.
was due the time to be able to pursue his dreams. And
read her fulfilled in God's name.
Yes, and decided to write a book, Feeding the Soul. And this week it became the #1 best-selling book on the New York Times list.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta
That
get
was
some.
awesome.
I gotta get that.
Awesome.
Because that's her business. You understand?
Yeah, because
That's her business.
Right.
That's
You know what
her
I mean?
business.
And if you listen, you have a good day. But
Yes.
just in case you can't, don't you go messing up nobody else's.
Yes.
Listen,
Right.
that's all she wanted to tell
Preach,
Wendy.
Mokita, preach.
That's all she wanted to tell Wendy was like, listen, you might not be having a good day, but you're not gonna rain on my parade. Like,
Hello.
Baby.
go
And
ahead
she said it with such love.
Right.
And
I
She
think
really
I
meant
was
it.
like, oh, wee, that was
That was the
good.
thing that I got out of that, Mokita. The fact that when she did retort to Wendy,
Hey, she retorted, baby. She
It ain't a
retorted.
big word, but I'm
You
gonna
went
toast
with the
you, Miles.
abbreviated big word today. You know,
Yeah,
I see what you did.
The
when she did
retort.
retort to Wendy's a little soliloquy that she
Oh,
gave.
a soliloquy.
Kay, he said the first word wasn't good enough for y'all. I got another one.
Yep,
I
I'm
got
going
one
with
for you.
another one.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
She did
I'm gonna
retort
give you
to
another one.
Wendy's soliloquy. It didn't come off bitter. It didn't come off with any
No.
animosity. It just came out from a place of love,
It did.
sincerity,
It did.
and really just a place of sincere advice.
Yeah.
Like to say, like, you know, like you said, TT, you have a good day, but just in case you can't, don't go
Don't
raining
mess
on
up
somebody
nobody
else.
Miles, that was
Right.
called a strong suggestion.
Yeah.
And
And she said, I
read
hope
her
one
fulfilled.
day you can find
Right.
that kind of love. I mean, that's when you
Right.
know, oh, we.
Right.
Mm.
It came.
I'm
hey,
sorry you hurt me,
it was
but
so
I'm not.
it hit so hard, Mo, that Wendy didn't even have a reply for it. She
And
couldn't
you
even
know,
come
when
back.
she don't have a
You know when you don't
reply.
have no
What did she
comeback,
say
you gotta
after that?
she
Yeah.
dropped the mic. She dropped the mic on Wendy for real.
She was
dropped the
like,
mic on
I'm
Wendy.
sorry you don't have what I have.
Yeah.
I understand you're coming from a place of hurt, and I hope that you heal
Yeah.
and you can witness this. However, I'm going to continue on in my life. God bless you. Amen.
No,
But how many
Amen.
times have we just met people who weren't for us, and then God used them to elevate what we're doing to another level? I mean, because had she not received such pushback, there are many people in the world who would not have known about her. She was very big in her own right, but I believe that situation had people talking about her that would have never even known her. And
it
then
was the
just
shortest. It was the shortest versus battle we ever seen.
Right. No, I like
right.
Time Magazine says she was the most gentlest person on the internet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
I think gentle, but more.
But to the
But
point.
more importantly, I think she's just mature, a very mature and wise woman. Because I think that when you can respond,
Williams kind of woman. You know what I mean?
When you can respond in love to hate, you've reached a level of maturity and emotional maturity that the average person just simply doesn't have.
Yeah.
I agree.
We live in a world right now where you come for me, I'm coming for you. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way, and I'm gonna excoriate you. I'm gonna eviscerate you. I'm gonna do this.
Y'all ain't ready to race.
Hey, Miles, what you making up for the last month?
Give me some warnings first, brother.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that on the internet.
We're gonna get more water closer from Miles.
And for you to come from a place, like I said, of love and maturity, and drop the mic to the point where she can't even. There was no reply like that. That says a lot about where she is in her life, in her spiritual journey in life. Period. That says a lot about her.
I agree.
If she would have said something, she would have been seen as really like pettier than she was when she said the first thing. It was nothing because it was nothing positive that Wendy could say like that.
Wendy was digging. I don't think Wendy even knew who she was. Like it was like she was reaching for a story. But sometimes people say something to you in your life that sticks, and I think that's one of those things that when Tabitha replied, it was like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Congratulations to Tabitha.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Tabitha is just a breath of fresh air for this world where we are right now.
I'm still not going to try the vegan bacon, but I appreciate her for putting it out.
You said what?
Dwight? It's good, Dwight.
I'm still not going to try her vegan bacon, but it was.
Ooh.
Which one was it? Was the fried banana?
That was like the first one that really broke. That was where she shredded the carrots.
Oh, the shredded the carrots.
Oh wow!
Well,
and air fried them or whatever.
I found her because of the thing that she did for Whole Foods about the TTLA. And that TTLA at Whole Foods,
is it good,
baby? If you
that was her first video.
If you have never tried it, let me tell you.
Okay.
If you can find it in Whole Foods, go ahead and buy it, and it will change your life. It will create a whole nother perspective and love for vegan. I wouldn't call it.
So what vegan, does the TTLA stand for?
Tempeh bacon. It's tempeh bacon, and it's not real meat.
Oh, okay.
Tomato and lettuce. TTL. What is the A? Oh, avocado.
Avocado. She got to have avocado, and garlic.
Yeah, and then she adds pickles to hers, but then it has an aioli mayonnaise, and it is very good. And a ciabatta bread. Yeah, and you can even ask for it if it's not in the deli. And they can make it. And I used to get mine with provolone. But since COVID, I don't really travel over to Whole Foods like that. And the ones that they do deliver through Amazon Prime, they're already pre-made. And they don't have the provolone sliced cheese on it. But if you do go into a Whole Foods, try it and ask for a slice of smoked provolone.
Yeah, that's my challenge. I got to pass 4 Publix on the way to Whole Foods. The way a Pro does it right.
Where UTI is? Yeah, if it's in Whole Foods, it must be $10 a strip. The boy
Miles said $10 a strip. Dang, Miles.
$10 a strip.
You might as well get that one.
I'm trying, man. You ever
been? You gotta hit it like Chris Rock. Put 2 of them in the hand. I can't. I wouldn't know bread. I'm good.
When I worked for the county, one of my secretaries, God bless her, she gave me a $50 gift card to Whole Foods. I came out of there with a piece of fruit and a bag of chips.
You better stop. That is not true, Billy. That is not true.
Hey, a piece of fruit, a bag of chips.
That is not true.
And a water. That's what it was. Like a bag of chips and a water.
I had a bacon.
Whole Foods is not for ordinary working day folk.
That is not true.
I can't shop there. Listen, that says a lot.
I'm just mad that they don't have them in. I'm mad that they don't have them in all neighborhoods. It's very selective, and I don't like that.
That's not part of their business model, Mo. They not supposed
to. I get it. I understand.
They do hire a lot of folks.
They do hire, yes.
They do. However,
they hire who?
A lot of folks who are hood adjacent, as Miles would put it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Whole Foods, I always used to say Whole Foods, they take your whole paycheck. That's what they do.
Yes. And the next weeks. Week. You might not have no lights, you keep shopping there for real.
Shut up.
Hilarious.
My goodness.
Silly.
I'm Publix. I'm a Publix guy.
I'm a food girl. I'm just thinking about this. I had a Polk Street sandwich this 2 mornings ago. Was it yesterday morning? I think it was yesterday morning.
Dwight know good about the Polk Street sandwiches. Dwight used to eat my sandwiches in the morning. I wouldn't eat them. When I would not eat my sandwiches
hop in the car, all you smell was bacon and cheese. You better slide that aluminum foil over there.
I got that.
Hey, Dwight, guess what? I put it right in the foil too. Throw some mayonnaise in that thing. I put it up there. Put that toasted bread, and I put it in the foil and just put it on the
bread. I don't like sliding.
In high school, I was so against breakfast in high school, and I swear every time I got it, I was like, "Dwight, you want?" He was like, "Yep, I got that. I get that."
I am so hungry. I'm gonna need to switch topics.
Well, let me just tell you about my.
That's why I'm playing with this orange. I'm trying
my Polk Street sandwich.
Go ahead, eat it,
bro. About my Polk Street.
Eat that orange.
Let me just tell you about it.
Because ready to eat this orange. You watch.
Eat that orange.
It's a vegan Polk Street sandwich. So there are these eggs that are inside of this little yellow jar, and Roy scrambled them. They're called no eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes.
That's an interesting marketing strategy.
No eggs.
Yeah, no, but
no eggs.
It confused. I'm sorry. You were like, there are these eggs inside of a jar.
Well, you know
and
that I'll say bacon and I'll say eggs, but I'm not. It's not real.
I'm about to say because Pablo the ice cream man got eggs inside a jar too, though.
I was getting ready to say eggs inside of a jar. Sound like you sitting at some country bar with pickle.
Right. I was like,
get them pickle eggs.
Right.
I can't participate in this discussion because I can't afford Whole Foods. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't participate.
I got this stuff from Publix. This is from Publix.
Miles, I actually ran into you in Whole Foods. What are you talking about, Miles?
Yes, I did.
The Jenkins family would not have approved that. They want eggs.
Wait, did you say no? You ain't getting no eggs.
Well, look,
who is the Jenkins family?
If you go to Bravo to be like, I want some no eggs, they'd be like, it's right here in my hand. All right, take it. I got no eggs right here.
Well, look, let's go ahead and switch since you all don't
Thank God.
keep talking about food.
Well, Keita said, thank you, Jesus.
Tesla was ordered to pay $137 million for racist abuse suffered by a contract employee. This is Owen Diaz. This week, that trial closed out, and Tesla released this statement on their website, and they gave pretty much detailed descriptions and facts of what happened while he worked there as a contractor. They wanted everyone to know that he was not an employee, but they did find evidence that said that he was racially harassed.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out my good friend Owen Diaz.
Listen, the white brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, just said his name.
What Tesla did to you was wrong. And I want you to know that I'm in your corner, Owen Diaz. Your corner, my brother. Don't you let them steal your shine, my brother. But tag me in. You know, I'm here for you, brother. You know, my contact information is on Facebook. So we
don't have a lawyer in our crew, but I would really like to know how that works, how they can be found liable when
he was a contractor.
The suit wasn't direct. Yeah, when he was a contractor and he didn't directly work for them. That's interesting to me.
But he works for them.
Well, no, he does what he doesn't. He's somebody else's employee, but he's not. He's on their facility.
Right.
But it was their employees
that perpetuated that.
It was Tesla's employees that did all that. They put stuff on the toilets.
He documented everything.
Yeah, because you
could have been it to the company that he worked for, and the company then reported it to Tesla. And Tesla did nothing about it. It's all well documented.
Oh man, and I like Elon Musk too. Yeah,
did you?
Well, I mean, he paid it out. He paid it.
I like Owen.
37 million.
But you know, Miles, I mean, you gotta look at this. I mean,
his last name is Diaz.
Yeah.
Listen, hello.
Diaz.
That's
hola, right there. Hola, mi hermano. Just in case.
That's it.
You know what? I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, "What?
Listen,
why?"
I looked at the picture of him and I was like, that's interesting." And then you said his name was Diaz. I was like, another interesting thing. I don't know what's going on here.
It's like it's something that's on the back of his head that's holding. You know how people had the sports glasses? That's kind of what it looks like.
Listen,
like
this.
Y'all gonna leave Owen alone.
First of all,
I like Owen.
He got that on his. I'm sure he got that on his Bumble profile, and he's getting swiped many a time over. Talking about glasses are say you cute for I ain't never seen you before.
I ain't never seen no dark skinned Diaz before.
Right.
Owen, that's a cute name.
I heard it's a perfect case. I heard it's a perfect case of forward thinking meets backward acting.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
That right there?
Yes.
Always said.
And all I gotta say is I'm so glad that this week we made sure that we know everybody's telephone numbers, because what social media was like, this is
my goodness.
Any way you're trying to catch me, I am going to not participate. How about that?
I missed all of it. I didn't even know.
at work. Okay, I was so at work. I was such an employee that day. I did not even know anything
TT on her phone. TT
I'm about to say she was present that day. She was like,
she was.
Kids,
she like this, huh?
You know what I'm saying? The kids on that day are like, I feel more balanced. I feel more seen. My guidance counselor, you know, she was
I did not know anything was going on until the text chain came through when everybody when Jay was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to check on everybody, see if everybody is okay." And I'm like, "What?" And I was actually taking a nap. And I'm like, what is she talking about?
Right.
I honestly didn't even know either.
Listen, that's how far it had gone. It was like 5 o'clock almost.
Oh, wow.
Like, and that's what she told me. She was like, well, you didn't even tell us until it was like 4 o'clock. I was like, girl, it was noon.
It was 12. I was like, no, it was like almost 5.
But that shows you I was in my grind working. And Chaz, we're working on this design, and Chaz is like, hey, yeah, no social media. Don't try to go to Facebook. And I was like, oh, okay, Chaz. And I just kept going. And then I was like, wait, what happened? What are you talking about? He was like, it's down. I'm like, Facebook down? Like, there's no way. How could Facebook be down?
But when I went to look,
StreamYard,
so many people were distraught when I went back to look. I was like, oh my goodness.
That I don't have to have social media in my life. I was perfectly fine. Until I found out that it was not working. Right. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good.
I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum because I'm fairly a rookie and new to social media because I just jumped on probably like two years ago when I transitioned into real estate. And it's like, now I think I am part of the billions of users who are 100% addicted to Instagram and Facebook because it's such a vital part of marketing for myself, and like I'm always checking, and you'd be surprised how many people like are always how many people like hit me up on Facebook or DM me about a property or ask me to help this person or that person. So like when it went down, I was one of those individuals that was like, I reset my phone like twice.
They said everyone was turning their phones
powered down, powered off. I was like,
right. Hey, Mom,
I reinstalled the app twice. I did all of that.
You reinstalled the app. You was deep in there, Mom.
Did you say you reinstalled the app twice?
Yeah, like you know how you press it and you delete it, then you bring it back and then try to log in again. Like, dang, Mom, like something ain't right. I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was just me.
I was in a struggle right there.
He was. Dwight, he was concerned he couldn't put out Ratchet Tuesdays. That's what that was.
Oh wow!
Listen, I was just like,
and then it speaks to the sad state of affairs of our society now because we are so intertwined and so dependent on social media. We're so dependent on Instagram for news, for updates, for like local happenings, for this, for that. And it's like when you don't like if you want to see, and this supersedes all racial barriers. You want to see a person panic, and when I say a person, white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Indian, let them leave the house
without
and not have their phone.
Oh my God.
You will see a person
I have turned
down
around.
the street, come back. You ever seen a person in public be like, I lost my phone? You look like a crackhead. Like
no, wait until you own the phone.
Digging in their purse, trying to a woman digging in the top. Wait.
Oh, not on the phone looking for it.
I have been on my phone looking for it. Like, where is my cell phone? And the person I'm talking to, like, what you not on it? And I'm like, stop playing. Okay.
I think you've done that with me.
I believe I have.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, when she said person on the other end, she was talking about you.
I was trying not to say it like that, but yeah.
Seems like Jessica comment like, you know you're talking to me,
right?
But I did an article about that. not building your business on social media, because they become the big brother and proprietor of everything that you have. You have no contact information for your customer. You have to get yourself a website or get their email addresses and telephone numbers, because you cannot rely on social media to house all of your personal information on your business.
Well, this was a learning situation for everybody.
I did that. I think I did that article at the beginning of COVID, because so many businesses were trying to find their customer and they were looking for them. And so if you keep that information, nothing will be able to break the relationship of your ambassador for your business. You have to own your proprietary information. So, Miles?
No, I think that's an excellent point, Ms. Mockins, because I think that so many businesses are definitely codependent on the conduit of social media to disseminate information.
All right. Information
from the,
I let conduit go, but I'm gonna have to go and drink on that disseminate.
to disseminate information and to allow that contact between customers. So I think you're 110% correct. I just think that in this day and age, it's so difficult to do, because in a lot of cases, that's where their foundation was. That's how they got to where they were.
Well, let's talk about building you a funnel. We'll discuss it offline so that you're able to have a nice streamlined pipeline for your customers and your future business. Go ahead, honey.
I think the other thing that we almost really overlook, I mean, even as an employer, I mean, that's social media is a way to separate yourself from, I mean, I remember working at CNN and not hiring people off of their social media platforms, or even colleges not recruiting certain kids because of the social media platforms. It's one of those things that just separates you from the do's and the don'ts and the wills and the won'ts. Like, so it's important that, you understand the power of social media, but then also, how do you use it, right? It's your intent behind it all.
Quick story to piggyback off of what Roy just said. I had a final interview with Deloitte and Touche back in 2012 in Atlanta. They flew me up. I was a finalist for this position, and in one of the interview portion lasts for like 6 hours. You interview with 3 separate people for like 2 hours, right? So I interviewed with who my manager would be. And that was one of the questions she asked me. She was like, so talk to us a little bit about your social media. And remember, I told you at the time I didn't have one. I said, well, ma'am, I don't have a social media. She was like, you don't have a Facebook or anything? I said, no, ma'am. And she was like, really?
We're not hiring you.
As a matter of fact, I think that might have been why I didn't get the job.
Been lying.
It might be, Miles. I
mean, where you hiding from?
That's what the mic was saying.
I
made a joke out of it. I said, well, ma'am, I'm a married man. I don't need no more temptation in my life, so I'm just trying to do my thing. And so I just made like a little joke out of it. But they definitely asked me about my social media. They
probably had tried to find you and couldn't.
That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually had a family member lose a scholarship, a football scholarship, because of what was on his social media page.
So I remember telling Justice the same thing. If you're trying to get into certain schools, you better watch what you're posting on social media.
So, did you all hear about Barbara and Whoopi Goldberg this week on The View?
No. And who is that?
That's Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind? What?
Who is that?
That is Barbara
Cochran.
I was going to say Streisand.
Barbara who?
I don't know her. Or she's aged. Or she's not aged well.
From Shark Tank. Y'all are so I cannot even get it out. I cannot even get it out.
Goodness.
Y'all are so
she's not aged well.
She looks different.
Okay, now always look the same way. She has
no, she is not.
Her hair was not always that short.
Yeah, it was.
I think she may have gotten some work done and they botched it. But go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I mean, what's the story? I'm sorry.
Ooh, hey, shout out to Botched on
They Thank you, Benita. You know who she is. Okay, so she sat with her other panelists from
Put the picture back up. Go ahead, put the picture back up.
And so,
that's hilarious. Let me look at it one time.
One more time.
Let me see.
Basil said no.
Oh, okay.
So what? That's the right thing.
Okay, so come on, tell us the story. I'm sorry.
So they were talking about jeans, and Whoopi said,
"Blue jeans."
Yes.
Okay.
Do they fit COVID?
We could have been talking about jeans, like in your body. Go ahead.
No, it's JEANS.
Okay, JEANS. Got you. Mm-hmm.
She said, but do they fit COVID booties? And then because they were saying, I guess the jeans were supposed to be able to fit any size. Okay. And so Anna Navarro said, well, they fit this COVID booty. Because remember the whole joke about her having COVID and being escorted
right.
set because the vice president was coming on. And she was saying that the jeans fit her. So Whoopi should be able to fit them because they fit her. So Whoopi said, well, I'll try. And then Barbara decided to inject herself into the conversation.
That's always wrong.
And said, well, when you take them off, I'll go ahead and make 2 pair. For me.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Are you kidding?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Body shame.
What did Whoopi say?
Booty means that you've gained weight from COVID.
Right. So Whoopi did like this. You know, like the black girl look.
Like pull it together.
Wait a minute. Did you say what I think you just said? That kind of thing.
Wow.
Before Whoopi could say anything, Anna.
What a commercial.
No.
Look, the producers in the back, like, get this, please. Just go to commercial because she's finna go off.
No. Anna then said, yes, Benita. Anna says, well, wait a minute now. That dress that you had on, we've already had 2 other people on the show with that same dress that you got on, Barbara. Yes. No, Chico, she did not laugh. Yeah, Anna was like, "No, what you not gonna do is come from my co-host.
That's right.
That's what you not gonna do.
That's right. Now, what we do amongst one another is one thing.
Might be a comedian, and she should have a really quick comeback. But let me go ahead and get you while you sit next to me. What you not gonna do with that dress on that we've already had 2 other guests come on here with on?
Oh,
that's
why would she say something like that? Even if she didn't like Whoopi, why would you say something like that?
Well, David John was on TMZ today, and they said, what was going on? He said, did you see what I did? And they were like, run us the tape. As soon as it happened, David John did like this to his teeth.
He
said he was not getting in the middle of that.
Miss Marcus.
I know that's right.
I totally missed that.
Well, let me tell you, we have shown clips and people have gotten mad. So we are going to be real slow on the
That's right. That's right. Listen, real slow. We'll send it in the group, Miles. We'll send it in the group.
We'll send it in the group. But right now, what we cannot do is play that clip from ABC show.
Wow. Karen Johnson was about to come.
Y'all said no.
If y'all didn't know, Whoopi real name, her government. That Karen Johnson was about to come out of her.
Yeah.
I wonder why Whoopi.
Let me ask the ladies on this show because the ladies. What? Let me make sure I phrase this correctly. I just want to make sure.
Brandy getting ready right now. Brandy got her fist balled up with.
Yeah. Brandy. You know, Brandy gonna be texting me and calling me.
Miles, don't do it, Miles.
No, how do you respond to something when or let's say this. Let me put it like this. She said what she said. Obviously, that was inappropriate. I'm going to say for the sake of this argument, I'm going to say that she didn't mean it to be offensive. Okay, I'm going to say she didn't mean it to be offensive, but I guess because of the cultural divide, she probably just didn't understand that you don't make that kind of comment. So as women of color, How do you respond when somebody does say something that's offensive, but it wasn't meant to come out offensive in that regard? But it's one of those things where the cultural divide doesn't allow them to understand that, listen, when you're talking to a woman of color, you're talking to a black woman with curves, you don't say those kinds of things. How do you respond? Because I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say she simply didn't understand.
No, most times you can tell when a person. Yeah, most times you can tell when a person is treading in unfamiliar territory and they don't quite like. See the way you just asked that question. See how you were a little
with all the cool, with all of that double dutch you was
right.
Doing.
So
trying to figure out what
you can kind of tell.
They don't do it.
You can kind of tell when people are taking a dig at you and when they just don't know. And you also have to decide how you're going to respond.
Right. Yeah, she thought she could say that. She thought she was being funny.
You also have to decide how you're going to respond based on where you are at the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the way that I would respond to someone on national television is not the same way that I will respond to them
in private. Right.
Exactly.
If you were sitting in my presence, right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So sometimes you're gonna get slapped. And then sometimes you just gonna get corrected, very sternly.
Or you can
see the feeling of double dutch that you had in your heart.
Well, no, because
have that feeling.
Because I don't.
That's the place that we live in. We live in that place of double dutch.
Always.
Let's talk about it.
Well,
my boy Plies just talked about this. This week, last week, when women are gathered together at a 4- or 5-star restaurant. Eating dinner.
First of all, Miss Markins. That's
Wait
not
a minute.
That's
Wait
not your boy.
Wait a
that's
minute.
Not your boy.
Wait
Plies. That's you. You're trying to make it seem like that's your boy. That's really you. I figured it out, Miss Markins. You got the secret long enough, but I finally figured it out.
Let me tell you what Plies said. Plies said, why when 3 April, Mokita and I are sitting down eating at 112 Prime.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Why does somebody walk over and go, what are we celebrating?
Life.
What are we celebrating?
Life. Hot meal. I'm celebrating a hot meal.
And then he compared it to Roy,
himself.
Dwight, Miles. You all are sitting down eating at Prime 112. Oh, you guys are out tonight. Okay, what can I get for you? Want to know anything about the house specials or anything? Different conversation.
I can't afford Prime 112.
Completely different conversation.
We might not get service.
Yes, Ebony, you should be on the show. That's right. And Plies called out ESPN. Definitely a conversation that Roy and I have been having right here in this house, because for a fact, there is a difference the way the media covers
white folks,
black and brown people.
Yeah.
Versus white people.
Don't look, Miles. Get that look off your face, and you can't ask any questions, Miles.
Plies has been
I wanted to know.
He has, and I've been like,
was he just talking about the news?
He talked about
the boy Brian being
not
missing.
Just yes, he's
being missing.
Yes, he's been on one this week.
No, he is on the run. He is on the run. That's right. Brian Landry is on the run.
Right.
And
how you let
him reporting that
he's not missing? He hiding.
He's
let him come back without that girl. If somebody come back without my child, if somebody come back without one of y'all, we gonna have a problem.
I said it in the chat the other day.
You did.
I go to Roy and Jessica's house. They be looking at me funny. My wife just at home sleep. I be like, no, she just around the corner, y'all.
Right. Let me see.
We sure did, Ebony, didn't we?
What happened? What happened at Nikki Beach?
We were at Nikki Beach and they were like, oh, what's going on, ladies? Like, what's up? We're like,
but you know what that could be? No, you know what that could be? Because many of us are not on the beach in that area. Even like when we went to, what was that restaurant that we went to a few weeks ago?
Oh, the Swan.
Yeah, and they were like, "Where you all from here? You actually live in Miami? Yeah, we live here.
Born and raised.
You are the first." Our waiter said, "You are the first people I have worked with that were actually from Miami."
Black.
Because he wasn't there when Angela was out here.
He did say that. That's why he said he was standing around, because we were the first black group of people. He didn't say
black.
Jay, that's what you said.
Well, I can tell you.
No, I didn't. I never said black. And then Roy even asked me. He said, "Did he say black? Was he referring to black?" I said, "He didn't say black. He said we were the first locals that he's ever worked with."
I don't think so. I think
he tells.
I think you said African Americans, because he was like, "Y'all are from here? Like, y'all are from here." It wasn't just that, because it's
you acting like white folks don't know how to make any word sound like the N word.
No, this was a black guy.
This was a black guy.
That was the first people with curly hair.
This was a black guy. It was a black guy. That's why I was saying. He said like, "Oh wow, I've never
seen people with
y'all the first ones that's been here."
Oh, let's talk about first, shall we? Yes, let's talk about first.
Time for my dog Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace makes history. He wins the Cup Series, but I will say this: we keep saying the first, but actually the first was in 1963 when Wendell Scott won.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name Wendell, so we know he was black.
But even with Wendell Mokita, his family just got the cup 2 months ago. Okay?
Shut up.
2 months ago, and he won in 1963.
That part.
They was like, we can't give Bubba his cup and then give Wallace, what's his name, Wendell his cup.
Bubba is taking a lot of heat because he's the first
who's your cousin
to win.
Wendell Benita
is Talladega, and he took a lot of heat because they still had a couple of laps left, and it rained. And so what the rules is, if the rain, they give you a certain amount of time for the rain to either go away or come back because the track is slick. Well, it continued to rain through Monday, so they had to make him the winner. He was already in first place. Rules are rules, so he wins it. But a lot of them racers were not happy about that.
Well, they should have been in first place at that time.
That's it.
Exactly.
Second place is just the first loser. Y'all should have.
Hello. What Ricky Bobby say? What Ricky Bobby say? If you ain't first, you're last.
That's
right. But here's the other part too that I like about it. Michael Jordan owns the car.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did Bubba Wallace have a Black Lives Matter car?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Mm-hmm. Rocking that 23 on his car for MJ.
Yeah.
Dwight, help me understand.
By the way, that's the first championship Mike won as an owner. I just want to let
You wrong, Dwight, for that one, but that was good.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
You lose some friendship with that comment. Ask Charles Barkley.
That's it.
Dwight, help me understand this. I'm not saying that you're gonna be his spokesperson, but Florida missed the deadline for the U.S. Department of Education for $2.3 billion of federal aid to fund education this week. Yeah. And they did have an extension to then file, and then another extension, and then the last one, then they still didn't file anything, and then said that if the government wanted to know anything about a specific county, they can tell them about that specific county, but they haven't spent the first batch of funding, so there's no need to receive any additional funding.
Ooh.
So this is all part of the larger political. Well, let's talk facts first. All right, every state has to file with the federal government a plan for education in general. Right? There was a specific filing for COVID money that came out of the Recovery Act that each state had to file in order to balance their budgets, because every state lost revenue, so you needed the federal government to bail out, make sure teachers got paid, bus drivers, etc. Florida was the last, meaning 49 other states, including Mississippi and Alabama.
Oh boy,
Hawaii and Alaska.
All filed their.
Hawaii
Texas,
and Alaska.
Everybody filed their stuff.
Puerto Rico.
Except, right. They probably filed too, right?
Everybody.
But at the end of the day, the issue really boils down to DeSantis wanting to be adversarial to the president because he views himself as the president's next opponent. So he's always trying to create these moments of juxtaposition between the federal government and the state of Florida. And so
juxtaposition. You know that's Miles's word. Why you using Miles's word?
Gonna let that slide.
What was it? What was the word? I didn't hear.
Juxtaposition. You gonna let that slide?
Miles like that's my word.
When I do it, I mean the whole show goes in
you, Miles.
Because that's your word, man.
Dwight does it, and I mean everybody's quiet and tense.
We got traditions to uphold, Miles. I'm sorry,
Miles. You gotta understand. You the word guy. He's the political representation. Come on, man.
I'm listening intently too. I just want equal treatment. This is what we talk about.
You want equal treatment.
Everybody's like this.
That's right.
I just want equal treatment. I mean, the show was quiet.
Everybody was
roll off his tongue, and everybody was just like,
right.
Listen,
I want quintessential treatment.
That is hilarious.
You know, the e pluribus unum. But yeah, so
I'm sorry, Dwight. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to give you one.
Miles acting so bad. Here you go, Mike.
Go ahead. My bad.
But the sad truth of it is, the kids were suffering, the students were suffering.
Right.
Like that's the thing. You're just out here being obnoxious, being unnecessarily adversarial, all because you want to be the next guy, and that's
he's not going to be. So it don't matter.
You think that? Do you think that's really? You really think that's the underlying reason why you think for sure that he believes that he's going to be?
This
at least
dude
in the
is the worst kept secret in the country that Ron DeSantis wants to be president of the United States. You're talking about a dude who's the governor of Florida, who took a tour of the Texas border.
Right.
And
what you doing in Texas?
Come back and be like, well, the reason the immigration problem at the Texas border is a problem. Sir, that's not your border.
Sir,
like,
that is
hello.
Brown.
Why are you over here?
But you're not even close to home. You're like not even in Georgia.
Why are you over here?
And it'd be one thing if he was like still a member of Congress, because that's a federal oversight thing. You literally took a plane from the state of Florida, which is surrounded by water, to go to another state to go to their land border and be like, it's a problem. Yeah.
Like, what were you
also
hear
by
going
what
over
Trump
there?
did this week? He attacked him. He assassinated DeSantis' character by saying that Stacey Abrams should have become governor.
Oh, you're talking about Brian Kemp. You're talking about Brian Kemp.
Brian Kemp should have become governor of Florida?
Well, no, he was saying Stacey Abrams should have been governor
of Florida, of Georgia, but Brian Kemp is.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was something about DeSantis shouldn't have been governor.
Well, no, he's been shooting shots at DeSantis too, because DeSantis was, Trump's buddy, but now that the new election year is on its way, DeSantis is polling higher than Trump with Trump's voters. He's now trying to rise to that mantle. And so now, Trump is King Petty. When he's getting overshadowed by somebody, he's gonna come and be like, "No, that's mine."
But Twitter ain't let him back. They like, no.
Nobody.
They like, no, player.
But
we've been a much calmer place since you've been gone.
Right.
Ain't nobody checking Twitter.
Hey guys.
My dog.
I heard somebody say Netflix. Dave Chappelle, the closer.
I just watched it last night.
You did? It came out on October the 4th. What did you think?
I didn't find it like hysterically funny as some of the other ones, but it definitely was entertaining. And I enjoyed it. I did, but it wasn't as strikingly funny as some of his other work of the past.
Did you see his performance last night? He did a concert in LA. Stevie Wonder was there. Lizzo performed. It was pretty big, packed crowd.
Because one thing about Dave Chappelle, there's a lot of truth, and this is actually true about all comedy. There's a lot of political underlying truth in his comedy, and he makes it funny, which only he can do. Mm-hmm. But he's really preaching to the people. when he talks about, like when he was talking about the baby, and he was talking about how the baby got he was talking about the Walmart incident, but a lot of people don't know that the baby actually got 2 justifiable homicides. He got 2 bodies. Somebody tried to break in his house, and he shot a dude and killed him. And then he was being accosted and bothered in Walmart, and he shot a dude.
Look, everybody's screen got blurry.
What does accosted mean?
Everybody's screen got blurry.
He was being accosted and verbally abused, so to speak, in Walmart, and he shot a dude there too.
So what?
And both of those were justified, and both of those homicides were justifiable, seen as self-defense. And I'm gonna steal your word, Dwight. The juxtaposition that Dave Chappelle made was that you could kill somebody and get away with it, and it doesn't affect your career. But the baby did make some very insensitive comments about the LGBT community, and really they started. Really? He started losing money left and right. They started snatching him off of shows left and right, and he just brought that. So now, what I read today on some media outlets is that that they're going after him now. Basically,
they're going after who?
Dave Chappelle.
Well, they've all. That community has always gone after him.
Yeah,
but he keeps putting jokes on top of jokes on top of jokes. That's his.
And the thing about it is the joke that he's the humor that he's making, to Miles's point, is always truth telling. So it's like, even though you might find it striking or triggering, it's not as though he's not saying it to be discriminatory.
No,
like I remember the last special when he was talking about if all the community was in the car, and he was giving the thing about how the LGBTQ community discriminates against trans folks, right? And he was just like, lesbians are fine, bisexual are fine, gay folks are fine, but y'all got problems with and it's like people had to really do a self-reflective moment, like, yeah, we do be out here stomping real hard, but then all of a sudden, it gets a little testy around certain issues, even internally, and he's just naming that reality.
What it is.
I think he also was even saying that he would like it if Black people would stick together for a common cause, the way other groups stick together. I don't even really feel like it was just about them per se. I believe it was just about we all need to find our own collective voice and have that much power about things that we too think should be fought against.
And he even said that he was mad. He said, the LGBTQ community thinks that I'm upset with them. He said, I'm actually jealous. He said, because I wish that our movement could have progressed as fast as theirs. And, and he started to make jokes about that. Like, how is it that they've just been in their movement for as short of the time as they have been, and they've gone so far, yet we've been fighting since.
Right.
Yeah. 16, 19.
Yeah.
It definitely, for me, it definitely wasn't as funny as his others, but I think he meant for it to be that way. Yeah, I think he meant for it to be be that way. I think
Mokita goes on tour.
First of all, Mokita saw it live.
Mokita go see these brothers live.
Right.
Mokita was like, I was in Ohio when he was
my nose and
she was like, I was at the show. I was at the show.
When we were in Detroit and he was filming it. No.
I told you. Speak on him, Mo. That's all,
Y'all crazy. I do think that
Chapo's G5 and went
you are crazy.
You are crazy. Like, when he emailed me the jokes to begin with, I looked at him and I said, these aren't going to be. I emailed him back. These aren't going to land the same way.
Oh, you all are crazy. I really don't think he meant to be as funny as the other ones. I think that's why he titled it The Closer.
It's a message.
Yeah.
It's a message.
Yeah. To me, that was kind of like him closing the book. And that was also him fulfilling the contract he had with Netflix. Like, okay, I'm done with this. Now let's move on to something else. Because he's definitely not done with comedy.
Right.
But I think he's done with Netflix. And he gonna do like Michael Jordan and everybody that come back, he's gonna come back again. He can't help it. It's in his blood. It's like
Dave Chappelle never said he retired. He just takes breaks.
Right. Well, he said that was his last stand-up special. I don't believe that.
Nah. Oh, what he didn't say was for Netflix.
Right.
That part.
Right.
On this platform.
Right.
Last one they gonna get.
Exactly. I mean,
they tried him. I mean, right? It's like the Comedy Central tried him.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle's is at such a level at this point, and he's probably the number one comedian out there.
I mean, he's a Kevin Hart comedian.
So he can call Hart.
Kevin Hart.
I think he's got Kevin Hart.
No. I was going to say Kevin Hart has endorsed him and said, like, he was doing an interview one time. Yeah. And he was like, him and Chris Rock were in this club, and it was like they were just testing out jokes. And he said, they asked him, "Here, you gonna go up?" So Kevin Hart went up, did his thing. Then Chris Rock went up and did his thing. He said Dave Chappelle got up there and started telling his jokes, and him and Chris Rock looked at each other and like, "We effing suck." He said, we balled up our paper and threw it in the trash. He said, "Man, Dave Chappelle is the baddest comedian to ever touch a mic," and that's out of Kevin Hart's mouth. Yeah, that's not me. That's somebody that's in the game that says that.
Well, I think Dave Chappelle, his comedy actually was I don't even want to say crossover. It crossed over to the black folk. It was
exactly.
It was white folk first, and then black folk came. So,
no. Actually, it's white. It was black folks, then white folks, then back to black folk. Like that's his ability because he's from DC. He's from DC originally, so he.
But he started out on Def Comedy Jam.
I was gonna say, wasn't he on DC? Wasn't he on DC?
No, he started in DC as a comedian, like when it was still Chocolate City.
Yeah,
he
was a kid.
His jokes. When he was doing the circuit in the DMV, it was all black clubs, then white clubs. He broke out in places like New York and LA and things like that. And then like another group of black folks fell in love with him. Like he's generational, right? Like you got black folks that knew him as a stand-up, you got black folks that knew him from the TV show, and now you got another subset of black folks that are knowing him from these specials who never touched the respective generations that he's been rocking with. I mean, Dave Chappelle, like he's the conflation of Richard Pryor.
Did you say conflation? What is conflation?
I'm getting ready to say, we're gonna let that one slide. We're gonna let that one slide.
They are battling each other.
You know what I'm saying? We're doing it today. On the screen. It's a my 2 cents versus on words, bro.
Nobody told us about this versus. Go ahead. Let me just go and sit back.
Popcorn. Like he's an element of Dick Gregory, element of Richard Pryor, definitely influenced by Eddie Murphy. And as those individuals were out there doing their thing, Dave Chappelle just like learned from that. And now his ability to tell stories, make them political, make them funny. And he's cerebral. Like his parents were academics.
I was ready to say we can't dismiss his father.
Yeah.
And his activism.
We used to watch Dave Chappelle at your house, Dwight. Every time it's coming on tonight, we need to go meet.
What was it? That show?
The Chappelle show.
And the Chappelle show was hysterically funny.
Oh my gosh,
that was hysterical.
Let me tell you something. I have a friend that actually was his producer at the time, and so when he had his last episode, he told her, and it might have been one or two other people that he was leaving, and so they were about to go on air. He walks into the office, and they're like, "Okay, guys, audience, get ready now for the Dave Chappelle show." He walked in and walked out the door and caught the flight out and went straight and left to Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, on that, we'll check you out next Friday right here. Same time. Peace.